Good morning once again. We are starting with history, chapter number 1, nationalism in Europe and French Revolution. What is the name of the chapter? French Revolution. Okay, you have completed the first part. We have learned the reasons which were the causes of the revolution. What was the main cause? The society. The social structure in France was the main cause of the revolution. Today we will learn the second part, that is the cause of the revolution, the outbreak of the revolution. Our topic is outbreak of French Revolution. Okay, how the revolution was outbreaken? How did it outbreak? The course of the revolution. What were the sudden causes which led to the revolution? Why the revolution occurred? In which year? 1789. 1789. Okay, it is very easy to remember 789. This is sequence 1789. 1789 was the year when the French Revolution occurred. So, what was the sudden cause? We are moving to the sudden cause, the immediate cause of the French Revolution. You know that in the previous session, previous class, you had heard that the financial condition of France was deteriorated when Louis XVI became the king, and he wanted to increase the tax. And also you have heard that the people had three types of taxes which they paid: tithe, tail, and the indirect taxes on goods. Tithe was the tax collected by the church, and tail was the tax given to the state. And now we are going to start from there. That is our introduction. Now we will see an important fact. You have to remember that according to the system, the customs and practices of France, Louis XVI, the ruler, the emperor, could not impose or increase the tax by his own will. What he had to do, he had to call the Estates General. Estates General. What is Estates General? Let us see. Estates General is a body in France which made all the rules and regulations, like a parliament in our country. The body which made the rules and regulations for France was known as Estates General. And this Estates General was the only authority who could increase or impose a new tax. Louis XVI, or the Emperor of France, could not do it himself. On his wish, he could not do. But a loophole was there. What was that? The Estates General could be called upon by the ruler at any time when he decided. Whenever he wished, he could call a meeting of the Estates General. The last time the Estates General was conducted in the year 1614. So now the Emperor Louis XVI was imposed to call the States General because he did not find any income to run the country, to run the administration. So what did he do? He called the States General. We have to know a lot many other things about the State General. It was not like the Parliament as of the Parliament of India. It had some features. What were the features? The members of the States General were elected ones. As Parliament of India, they were elected ones. But who elected them? People elected them. Who were the people who elected them? Only there were some particular group of people who were allowed to elect the representatives for the States General. Who were they? The people with assets and properties. Who were the people with assets and properties? First and second estate. And some people, some professionals and merchants and traders in the third estate also. It means that there were very few groups of people who could cast for the representatives of a States General. First feature. Second feature, in the Parliament of India, we are sending equal number of representatives. Now, the country has been divided into constituencies, and from each constituency, there is a candidate elected by the people, right? But it was not the system of the States General. What was the system there? That the country was divided into third estate, three estates for second and third. First is the number of representatives which could be sent by the representatives was equal. Whatever number was sent by first could be sent by the second and the third estate. For example, they sent 10 members, they also 10. It was not according to the number of people, it was not according to the population of the country. Understood it now? Next feature, third feature is that the one estate had only one vote. First estate had one vote, second estate had one vote, third estate had one vote. So total number of votes is only 3. In our country there are 545 MPs, isn't it? Yes. So 545 votes are there in the parliament, and in the country how many votes are there? Whatever the number of adults in the country, those many adults have the right to vote. It is not that one group of people, Hindus have only one vote in one area, Muslims have only one vote. Is it the case? No. Each and every individual has been given the right to vote. But in France it was not there. The estate as a whole had only one vote. This time when Estates General was called upon by Louis XVI on 5th May 1789. On 5th of May 1789, Louis XVI called upon the Estates General. When the Estates General was it was conducted at the Hall of Versailles, and the hall was completely ready to receive the delegates. Delegates reached over there, Estates General started, and how many members attended it? From the first estate, there were 300 members. From the second estate also there were 300 members, and third estate sent 600 representatives, right? These many members came over there to attend the Estates General. Now these people, first and second estate representatives, they sat in this way. This is the chair for Louis XVI. They faced this, they were sitting face to face, a way in which the meetings have been conducted normally, right? And where did the third estate sit? They were standing at the back. These many 600 people were standing at the back. They were only the viewers. They did not have any opinion, right to speech. They could not express themselves. They were only the viewers there. And who were they? That is also an important thing. They comprised of the people of the higher bracket of the third estate. Who were the higher brackets? The traders, professionals, rich, only the rich people. Among the third estate, in the previous section you have seen, the part 1 you had seen that all the people, the third estate had a large number of people and they were divided into different groups also. Among them, only the highest groups of people, the rich and influential people of the third estate were these 600 people who attended the Estates General, and they also could not sit. They were only standing at the back as a viewer. It created the problems among the people, no? Okay, of course. And remember that first estate had only one vote, second estate had only one vote, and third estate had only one vote. So whatever decisions have been taken, that would be in favor of first and second estate. It is clear, no? What for this Estates General was called upon? It was for increasing the tax. So what would be the vote for vote of first and second estate? Would it be yes or no? First estate and second estate would be in support to increase the tax or not? Yes, of course, because they did not have to pay the tax. So why should they refuse? They very happily supported to increase the tax. It means that what was the vote? 2 out of 3. The decision was taken in favor of the ruler and the first and the second estates. Third estate did not have any value there. There was nobody to ask them. They tried to raise their voice. They tried to change the decision, but they could not. And when they reached over here, they were with 40,000 memorandums, petitions of the third estate people, the poor peasants, artisans, women, weavers. There were a large number of people who made some petitions, and these many petitions were brought by the third estate people when they came to attend the Estates General. But not, everything was in vain. They were not heard by the ruler or the other two estates. So what happened? They were raged. They were very angry. They felt alienated. They felt ignored. So what did they do? These angry people, they came out of the hall, and they, in Versailles only, they gathered in a tennis court in Versailles. In the tennis court, inside the tennis court, they gathered under two people. Who were those people? They were Abbé and Mirabeau. Abbé and under the leadership of Abbé and Mirabeau, the people gathered in the tennis court in Versailles. And what did they do? They took an oath there. They took an oath on the day of 5th May 1789. On 5th of May 1789, they gathered in the tennis court in Versailles, and they took an oath there that they would not disperse all the 600 members of the third estate representatives. They gathered there under the leadership of these two, and they took an oath that they would not disperse until they frame a constitution for France. They took the oath that they would not disperse until they prepare a constitution, they draft a constitution for France. And this incident is known as Tennis Court Oath. It is known as Tennis Court Oath. Tennis Court Oath. When was it? It was on 10th June 1789. On 10th of June 1789, these many people gathered in the tennis court of Versailles under Abbé and Mirabeau, and they took an oath that they would not disperse until they frame a constitution for France. That is popularly known as Tennis Court Oath. Now we have to see who were these two people. The Abbé and Mirabeau were Abbé. He was from a first estate, from the second estate. He was a noble. He had all the powers and rights, but he was convinced, and he came to know that there is a need to support the third estate. This privileges on the basis of birth, that is not good for a society. He was convinced enough about all these things. So what did he do? And he was convinced by Rousseau. His book was what was the book? Social Contract. Rousseau wrote Social Contract, and he was convinced by his book. It was very clearly written that in the book that the powers should be divided among three organs of the government. Power should not lie entirely in one hand. It should be divided. Power should be divided among the people. That theory attracted Abbé. So he joined the third estate. Okay, and he published a pamphlet also. The name of the pamphlet is What is the Third Estate? He tried to awaken the third estate, the people of the third estate, about their rights and duties. So under their leadership, the tennis court oath was conducted, and they started framing the constitution. Why? What raised them? Why they were outraged? It was only because the custom of the General Assembly or the Estates General. What was that? The estate, one estate had only one vote. This time in 1789, when the Estate General was conducted, the third estate representatives repeatedly demanded for giving the voting right to each and every representative. Then first estate would have 300 vote, second estate would have 300 vote, and third estate would have 600 vote. Total, it would make 1200 votes. But actually, how many votes were there? Only 3 votes were there. That was not a good system for France. So the delegates demanded for it, but nobody heard them. I told you. This was the cause of the outrage of the third estate people, and which gradually led to the tennis court oath on 10th of June 1789. So in the city, it was going on. The delegates, the learned people, the professionals, the rich people, they were framing a constitution for France. What was going on in the countryside? In the villages, what was going on? In the villages, the people knew that the problems faced by them, they were against the landlords, they were against the feudal system and the customs and practices, and there some of the people's documents were kept by the feudal lords. So they facing a lot of troubles and problems. And during this time, there were some rumors also which were spread. What is a rumor? You might have heard the term rumor. What is a rumor? Rumor means spreading a false news. There were rumors spread that the feudal lord, the noble, is going to send his people to destroy the crop which are ready to harvest. So the people were in fear because their hard work is going to be vanished within few time. So what did they do? Before they arrived here, these people, the villagers, the third estate people, they gathered together and they started attacking the Chateks. What is Chateks? The mansions of the nobles, the palaces of the nobles. These Chateks were attacked by the people, the third estate people, and they hoarded the grains, the land records, so everything were hoarded by these common people. And by all these activities of the common people, the third estate, the lords, feudal lords were in great trouble. Many of the feudal estates, they flood away. Flood means they flew away in the sense they left the country and they went somewhere else. These many incidents were going on in France. This is what the revolution. It is not over. The main incidents of the revolution is this much. Then, in the same year, 1789, on 14th of July, also something happened. What happened? The Bastille. What was Bastille? Bastille was a prison. You saw it in the first part. Bastille was a prison which stood for the power of the monarch there in France. It was a place, it was a prison where the political prisoners were kept. And this Bastille was completely destroyed by the people on 14th July 1789. So we could see a large number of incidents took place after the Estates General. So we can consider Estates General as the major cause of the outbreak of French Revolution. Estates General occurred, people were not satisfied, they were outraged, they gathered in the tennis court and it led to the tennis court oath. Obviously, like people, the other philosophers also kept on encouraging and awakening the third estate. As a result, in the cities, the educated people, the middle class conducted the revolution, and in the countryside, the common people conducted the revolution. So a situation came in France which was not under the control of the monarch. Okay, so now we will continue what happened afterwards. The people of the third estate were framing the constitution, drafting the constitution for France from which date? 10th June up to 4th of August. 4th of August 1789. What were they doing? They were framing the constitution for France. Finally, they prepared it by the night of 4th August 1789. It was not completed. Completely, the constitution was made in the year 1791 after 2 years. Okay, so from this time onwards, it was a constitution which was made by the third estate. What was that? It was made in such a way that which would control the powers of the monarch. Now the monarch could not use his entire powers on the people. He had to consult anybody. Number two, all the system of privileges were abolished. What were the privileges? Some privileges were given to first and second estate on the basis of their birth, like feudalism. They could be the feudal lords. Next, tithe. Church could impose tax upon, levy a tax upon the people, tithe, right? This tax collection right, that was abolished. Feudal rights were abolished. Equality was brought among the people. Not for all, that we will see. But there were some changes made by the constitution by the year 1791. So this was the year 1791 was the year when France became a constitutional monarchy. What is constitutional monarchy? Do you know? Constitutional monarchy means monarchy would be there. Emperor would be there to rule the country, but he would be under the control of a constitution. Monarch would rule the country under the as per the constitution, as per the laws of the constitution. That is known as constitutional monarchy. France became a constitutional monarchy in the year 1791. And what were the features of this constitution? That also I'll tell you. The constitution, I told you, it abolished all the privileges based on birth. It abolished the feudal system, feudal obligations and norms. Nothing would be there. Then number three, it provided equality to the people. Then rights to the people, like freedom, right to speech and expression, right to freedom, okay, equality before law, all these things were given to the people. It had a negative aspect also. What was the negative aspect of the Constitution of 1791? That all the people were not given the right to vote. The right to vote was given to only few people. Who were they? The adults who were the property owners. Only the property owners had the right to vote. Women did not have the right to vote, even if they belonged to the first or second estate. Only men, all the adult men who were the property owners had the right to vote. Clear now? It means no, it doesn't mean that equality was given to everybody. Then to be elected, to become a candidate or to be elected, he had to reach the higher brackets of the taxpayers. It means that he had to pay high amount as the tax. Then only he could become a member of the States General. That was what the feature of the Constitution of 1791. But though it had this negative impact, it had, I told you, it provided some benefits to the people. It started with a declaration of the rights of man and citizen. The Constitution of France started with a declaration of rights of man and citizen. It started like Indian Constitution starts with the preamble, that is an introduction to the Constitution of India. In the same way, the Constitution of France started with the declaration of rights of man and the citizen. It means that some rights were given to the people. It was not there in the past. Clear now? Unlike the old regime, you know, that was the period up to 1789. That during that time, nothing, no rights were given to the people. Unlike that, this Constitution of 1791 gave some rights to the people, and equality was brought among the people. But I told you, there are some categories of people who were not considered as equal, like women, weavers, poor peasants, artisans, etc. They did not have the right to vote. They did not come into this group also. They were not considered as equals. This is what the cause of the revolution, the outbreak of the revolution, and the immediate impact, the sudden impact of the French Revolution in the year 1789. So we have discussed the period between 1789 and 1791. Now we will see some symbols were used by the people during the revolution, so that they could attract a large number of people. Have a look here, what were the symbols used by the revolutionaries to create a nationalism, to bring some changes in France. Have a look here. Now have a look here. These were the symbols which were used by the revolutionaries or the nationalists during the French Revolution to spread that feeling of equality or freedom among the people. Most of the people in France were illiterate. The common people comprised of large number of the population, and most of them were illiterate in the third estate, and the initiative had to be taken by this large section of the society. So something had to be done to awaken them, to educate them, and it was not easy. It was not an easy task to educate these common people who were totally illiterate. So what was done? The revolutionaries, the nationalists found an option for that, a solution for that. What was the solution they found? They created some images. They created some images, and through these images, the common people were educated. What were the images? Have a look here. Broken chain, bundle of rods, eye within a triangle radiating light, scepter, snake biting its tail to form a ring, red Phrygian cap, blue, white and red, winged woman and a Lord tablet. These were the 9 symbols which were made, political symbols which were made during the French Revolution by the revolutionaries. We are moving to the first one, a broken chain. What does a chain indicate? What does a chain indicate? Chain indicate the slavery, that people are slaves. If it is broken, what does it mean? Slavery has been over. Now the people are not slaves. The end of slavery has been depicted with broken chain. Most of the people that slavery was very common in France during that time in the old regime. And slavery was brought to an end during the French Revolution by the people, and for that, to end slavery, this broken chain was used by the revolutionaries. Second one, a bundle of rods. You know that, you have learned in the junior classes that if unity strength, the story, the farmer gave one stick to his son, then he all the 4 sons could break them easily. On the next day he gave a bundle of sticks to each one, but they could not break it, and he taught his sons a lesson: unity is strength. You have to be united so that no one can break you, destroy you. You have learned it, no? In the same way, this bundle of rods were used. If it is a bundle, then what would happen? It would not be easy to destroy. So what did it stand for? This bundle of rods stood for strength, unity, and this strength. So the people were told to be united, irrespective of their state. They were told to be united. That is what a bundle of rods. Next, an eye within a triangle. A triangle was made, and within that, eye was made, and it radiates rays. What does it mean? Opened eye. What does it indicate? Open eye is the symbol of wisdom. Our ignorance has been completely destroyed by the rays. Rays are there, which means that darkness has been made far away, have been eliminated by. So the people were told to come out of their ignorance. The people were told to be wise. That was what the eye, open eye in the triangle radiating light. Next one, scepter. What is scepter? You might have seen in all the movies and all. The ruler had something as his power. He used to hold something in his hand, a stick-like thing. It indicated the power, royal power. Okay. Next one, snake biting its tail. If a snake bites its own tail, what will be there? A ring will be formed. Okay, it is biting its own tail. Okay, then what is there? A ring is formed. Ring means eternity. A ring doesn't have any beginning or any end. Eternity. It means that progress will be there. We will move on together. That eternity was represented by the snake biting its tail. Next one, red Phrygian cap. A cap was used by the slaves when they made free. That was red Phrygian cap. This red Phrygian cap was made very common during this French Revolution because the slaves no longer wanted to be slaves. They wanted to come out of the slavery, the system of slavery. So this red Phrygian cap it got a large popularity during the French Revolution. Next one, blue, white, red. This blue, white, and red are the national colors of France. They selected these three colors during the revolution, and even today they became, after the French Revolution, these colors became the national colors of France. Next is winged woman. Winged woman is the personification of law. Law, the set of rules and regulations they have made in the form of a person, and that person is winged woman. Last one is a law tablet. Okay, this law tablet, what does it indicate? Law has been written in it. It has two plates and the law has been written. Rules have been written there. What this law tablet indicate? It indicates that all the people are equal before the law. This law tablet it considers equally. Everybody have been considered as equally. This is what law tablet. So these were the common symbols which are popular symbols which were used during the French Revolution by the revolutionaries. I taught you 9 of them. You have to learn at least 5. Learn minimum 5 and their meanings also. Clear now? So we have completed today's portion. Second part has been completed. What did we learn today? Outbreak of revolution. What was the cause and the course of revolution? And during the revolution, they used some political symbols, and these are the political symbols. So you don't have any doubt. I think I'm sure that you did not have you understood everything. Very good. And watch the video. If there is any problem remaining, along with that, I'm giving you a homework also. Do it in your notebook, right? So we'll meet again tomorrow. Till the time, bye.